Hey guys, last night I went to see Abigail and I thoroughly enjoyed it. However, I did find the ending didn't stick the landing as much as I would have liked. The story centers around a crew of kidnappers who abduct the titular Abigail in order to ransom her back to her wealthy father. However, the crew of would-be kidnappers soon realize there's more to Abigail than meets the eye. When it transpires, she's actually a vampiric child who systematically is hunting them down for their blood. Alicia Weir absolutely kills it as Abigail. You may recognise her from the Matilda remake, and this young Irish actress puts her choreography skills and dance background to good use in the role of this ballerina from hell. You can tell that she's having so much fun with the role, and Abigail herself takes absolute delight and glee at dancing around and murdering our crew of hapless kidnappers. The rest of the cast is fairly solid and is rounded out by some fairly significant horror alumni, which include Melissa Barrera as Joey. You might know her from the newer Scream movies. We also have Katrin Newton, who turned up in Lisa Frankenstein, and Dan Stevens, who I think was fantastic in The Guest. And he plays the leader of the crew, this smarmy ex-cop who is essentially kind of a loose cannon and maybe even more dangerous than Abigail. But I think my favourite character in the entire movie is Kevin Durand's Peter, who's essentially the muscle, but he's thick as two planks. And while this is essentially a horror comedy, he is the source of some of the biggest laughs, I think, in this movie, because he's so fucking stupid. And the rest of the crew just take the piss out of him the whole fucking time. But yeah, for me, he was the standout character in the movie. Visual effects and gore wise, it was fantastic. There was CG blood in certain scenes, but by and large, you get the real red stuff, and it is incredibly gory. Abigail goes to town on some of these kidnappers, and it is very messed up. You can tell the creators are major horror fans, and apparently they took a big influence from the Lost Boys. But for me, there was some other elements that snuck in there. There was a scene that was very reminiscent of Night of the Demons involving Katrin Newton's character. There's also a nice nod to classic Universal monster movies, as when we first see Abigail, she's dancing to Swan Lake at her ballet recital, which cheekily hints who her dad might actually be. If I had to cite any criticism, it would be the one I mentioned at the start, where the ending really lets the movie down. It is so fucking contrived and totally undermines the intimidation factor that Abigail had built up through the entire movie. But that said, it's still a fun popcorn flick, and I'd say if you're going to watch this on the big screen, catch it in a matinee or wait till streaming. Again, it's a fun flick, but I don't think it's worth the full price of a cinema ticket. And yeah guys, that's my thoughts on Abigail, but what's your thoughts? Have you seen the movie? If you have, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. My name's Martin, this has been the Trash Picture Show, and yeah, have a good one, take care, bye now.